Wow, guys. That's all I can say is wow. I don't even have a mic in front of me at this point. Wow, guys. Wow. I'm tired of telling you guys different stuff is always going on. I really am. I'm just glad that we got this going. I don't want to bore you with all of the issues that was going on prior to this getting this live stream going. It looks like it's working fine now. A couple of days ago, it was a blackout. Now tonight, for some strange reason, everything started. I don't even want to get into it. Let's just get Friday out of the way, guys. So let me get the prompter. I got to get everything set up while we're live because it was an ordeal just trying to get us to go live. So let me get this chat going. I have no idea if the thumbnail is right or anything like that. So let me pull up YouTube. So we're starting late again tonight, guys, but at least I'm here. So we're going to get this live stream done. Thank the 2 new subscribers we got this week. And thank the community for showing up and being here this week. We're still growing and we're still going. And just like life, guys, you just never know. You just never know what challenge is going to come at you or going to pop up, but we still got to find a way to push through it. So I could have gave up, but I'm like, nope, I'm going to figure out what's going on so we can get this live stream done tonight. All right. So it looks like it is pulling up the right live stream on YouTube. So that's good news. So let me go ahead and share the live stream over on Facebook. We already have the social stream ninja going. So let me put this up on the screen. Bam. There we go. All right. So let's go to Facebook. Yeah, guys, my neck is still bothering me. We had a few technical difficulties this week. The other day we started late because there was a power outage. I called it a blackout. We had a blackout. And when that happens, that knocks everything out of sync. The camera won't show up in the system, all different types of mess. And I didn't realize that that was a problem until we were getting ready to go live. So that's what happened then. Let me go ahead and share this live stream on Facebook, and then I'll finish telling you the story, and then we got to finish setting up anyway. So let's go here. So what I did, I have a checklist, just like a pilot before he take off. He have a checklist. He got to check over his plane to make sure everything is everything, right? So I added that to my checklist to make sure that I check to make sure the camera's working and all the other good stuff before we go live and there's any type of problems. Now tonight, for some strange reason, it could have been because I tried to cut on the audio software after I had the video software running. That could have been it. But what ended up happening, the video program just started dropping frames, disconnecting, reconnecting. I don't know how that looked to you guys, but I knew that wasn't good. So I reset the computer. Yeah, I can see it. The frames is dropping like crazy on that previous video. So we've tried to go live 2 or 3 times on Facebook and YouTube and X and all of that, but I'll clear that up later. So let me check my home page on Facebook and see if the live stream is being shared over there. Yes. Okay. And we got 2 people tuning in. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're just dealing with some technical difficulty tonight. As usual, it seems like this week has just been full of technical difficulties. I can't even say it. All right, so let's get the prompter set up and everything else we need for tonight. So it looks like the script is good there. So let me browse through that real quick. And I should have said this at the beginning, guys, but I was just shocked that the software was even working this time. So let me go ahead and get this out the way, just in case somebody does watch the video this far. But mic check 1, mic check 2. If you guys are watching this live stream back on the replay, take advantage of the chapters and skip ahead to the start of the show. I'm still setting up and giving people some time to tune in. Thank God. All right, so we cut this phone off. We got the other phone ready for the cash apps and stuff like that. So let me double check this. Yeah, then we go there. Okay, so that's fine. Then we got the audio, we got the other mouse. Yes. Now I can close this out. And now I have to get the websites and the Thinkorswim platform and all that other stuff loaded up. So guys, I hope y'all had an awesome day. I'm glad it's Friday. Y'all have a great, awesome weekend, okay? Have an awesome weekend. Be safe. Make it count, whether you need to get rest, whether you need to work out, if you got something you need to take care of, you couldn't do during the week. Make sure it's productive. Make sure it's worth it. Make sure it's worth it. Make this weekend count. That's about the best advice I can give you because I'm sure about to make mine count. All right, so we got those. We can close this out. And I'm going to pull up this website, guys, so you guys can look at that while I take care of something. So you know we're covering John Deere tonight, so I'm going to show you their website while I take care of something. Here we go. So I'm here, but you won't be able to see me. Here we go. All right. And I needed to cut my phone back on that I just shut off because I got to put this code in for this account. So gives me a second. The chat is open, guys, if y'all want to say something like shame on you or whatever. Just the chat is open. It is open. That's one thing about live streaming, man. You got to be willing to make mistakes in real time. Can't hide it. Can't hide it. And part of me scheduling the live streams ahead of time isn't just so you guys will know when we're doing the live stream. That's a commitment. That's a commitment I made to be here. So that bothers me when I can't be here on time. And this week, it's been a lot of stuff that's just been out of my control. Now, the blackout thing, I could have had that on my checklist. But tonight, this issue, I had no idea about. This was just something, yeah, crazy. All right, so we got Thinkorswim pulled up. Let you see that. Time access 30. That's good. Yes, thank gosh. That's private. Okay. So we got the charts pulled up. We're ready for that. Now I have to get our websites set up that we're going to cover tonight, guys. So let me do that and our notes because we're going to go over the sectors. We're going to go over the sectors. So we got that. Market, recap, sector performance. That's what we need. We need those notes right there. Okay, so let me set these up. At least I feel better because I was like, don't tell me. We've been on a streak. We've been doing really good. We had just hit 400 videos and now I think we're over 410. We had hit 100,000 views on the channel. Now we're at over 101,000. So things are moving. This was going to really bother me if we weren't able to get this set up for tonight, but we're here. So we're going to make the most of it. So let's get these notes for Friday. There we go. Bring this down. Cool. Bam. Now we can minimize that. Bring this over. That's going to go right there. Let's get these other websites set up. So we're covering them tonight and we're covering them tonight. What's that doing? Okay. So John Deere, let's get them set up for the earnings. And guys, after this, we can get started. So thank you for bearing with me. We're about to get started in a second. Position this. That's good. Pull this over. All right, we're good there. We're good. We're good. We're good. All right. And you can hear me. That's working too. So let's go here. Take this down. Take this down. Okay. All right, let's start from the top. And if you're already aware, when we open up the door, insects be like, oh, the door open, and they come in the house. So if you see some flies or some type of bug fly across here and make a cameo, that's what happened with that. And then we got a dog, so we got to let her in and out the house. So when that happens, yeah, bugs get in the house. So excuse the insects. Let's go ahead and get this show started. I'm about to clown when we say the thank God part. I'm just preparing you right now. All right, so let's get started. Welcome to Market Recap Live. I'm your host, Joseph Martin. Thank God. Oh, thank God, thank God, thank God. It is Friday, guys. It is Friday, and tonight we are taking a look at ticker DE. You might know them better as John Deere. Deere and Company was founded in 1837 by John Deere, with its first shop opening in Grand Detour, Illinois. Now they're publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange and have a market value over $150 billion. Yes, that's billion dollars. Give me 1 second. I left this phone on and I don't want it to be going off. $1 billion. There we go. There we go. John Deere is in the machinery industry in the industrials sector, and they are listed in the S&P 500 index. Some of John Deere's company's competitors are Caterpillar Incorporated, ticker CAT, CNH Industrial NV, ticker CNH, and AGCO Corporation, ticker AGCO. We're going to review Deere and Company's earnings, their website, and pull up the charts to perform a quick technical analysis. But before we do that, let's do our roll call and check our stream poll. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Let's get this chat going and tell us where you're tuning in from. Put a YT in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, FB for Facebook, and an X for X. While you guys are filling up the stream and the chat, here is the mission statement. We are building a community over here for people who want to take control of their financial situation by learning how to unlock the wealth building power of the stock market. And we are streaming Monday through Friday following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange calendar down in the description. Now, let's get to these earnings highlights, guys. Let's get to it. Take that down, go here, bam, bam. Yes, we got it all. We got it all. So let's get it. Deere and Company, ticker symbol DE, the $174.8 billion company, reported its third quarter 2026 earnings on Thursday, August 20th. They have a 52-week high of $674.19, which took place on February 19th, and a 52-week low of $433 that occurred on October 14th, which is a trading range of $241.19. And they closed today at $647.47. Deere and Company earnings report beat on the top line, reporting revenue of $12.6 billion, which was higher than the market expectations of $10.8 billion. And they beat on the bottom line as higher shipment volumes in construction and forestry drove gross margin expansion. EPS was higher than the analyst and market expectations of $4.79 when they reported an adjusted EPS of $5.10. Deere and Company reported a GAAP net income of $1.4 billion, which is higher than the $1.3 billion net income they reported this same quarter last year. This represents an increase of 6.98%. So for the third fiscal quarter of 2025, their net profit was approximately 6.53% lower than it is compared to now a year later. The earnings were released before the market opened, followed by a 10 a.m. Eastern Time conference call. As far as guidance, management raised this full year fiscal 2026 net income forecast to a range of $4.75 billion to $5 billion. That 52-week low compared to today's closing of $647.47 represents an increase of 49.53% over a span of approximately 10 and a half months. So if someone invested $1,000 in October at that 52-week low of $433, they would be seeing a gain of $495.31. Woo! We did that. All right, guys, let's move on. So here we go. Researching a company. Let's talk about why we visit these company websites. We're looking at the visuals and text to find answers to these key questions. What goods and or services does the company sell? How important are those goods and services to their customers? What makes this company stand out from the competition? And how well do they take care of their employees? Where do we look? We search for those answers in four main areas. The homepage for the goods and or services, about us for purpose, vision, values, and mission statements, careers for employee benefits and opportunities, and investor relations for stock quotes, charts, and financial reports. And for your convenience, all companies featured in tonight's live stream are down in the description. Now, let's go visit John Deere's website. Let's go, guys. Let's go. We in the flow now. So let's go here, here, and here. Now, how about we blow the website up? So we can actually see everything. Make sure we're zoomed in. All right, guys, we're good. So we're on John Deere's website, and let's start looking for where we need to go. So right over the top, ooh, we don't have something launched. We don't have our cursor, but I caught it. So let's get our cursor going. I'm waiting on it to load, guys. I'm waiting on it to load so to make it easier for you to follow me through this website. There's our cursor. All right, so our company. So we got our company and purpose, careers, and investor relations. So everything we need is right here up under our company. So let's browse over their homepage. Let's just browse over, see what we can find. So equipment, offers and deals, field of dreams. Guys, that's a short scroll. I'm so glad too. So that's the homepage. Now let's go to our company and purpose. Let's go there. Bam. Our company and purpose. When we create tech that helps farmers and builders thrive, it contributes to, let's pause this. It contributes to the salad you ate for lunch, the road your packages get shipped on, and even the toothpaste we hope you use this morning. So they have videos here, guys, that you can check out on your own. Links to this website are also down in the description for your convenience. Celebrating our customers. See how we support our customers and their essential work, leading with innovation. Learn how tech is helping solve tomorrow's biggest challenges, helping people thrive. Discover our positive impact on people and the planet. Got it. Building America since 1837. Explore John Deere. What happens when a company's groundbreaking innovation literally breaks ground? You reshape the planet and history. Dig deeper into the iconic company behind the legendary equipment and learn what fuels us as we run for all. Got it. Great leaps for the good of everyone. John Deere news, and we're at the bottom of the our company and purpose page. So let's go ahead and go to careers. Let's find out about them benefits, guys. Let's just go to view all. So here's another video. You can watch that on your own. I'm gonna pause it. We run for all. By helping provide food, fiber, fuel, and infrastructure, we work for every single person on the planet. Professional careers, production and skilled trades, students, and recent graduates. More opportunities. Learn about more opportunities through dealers and our military hiring program. Dealership careers, military hiring program. Our people are the heart of our mission. From coders to assemblers, and from engineers and tech experts to marketeers and field teams, all find a purpose to drive them, a culture to thrive in, and a world of opportunities. I like the photos they have on their website as well. So they talk about their achievements, your money, your health, your time, your life. I believe that this sounds like the benefits information right here, guys. Your money, I already read all that. We take care of our most valuable resource, you. From outstanding compensation and benefits programs to flexible work arrangements for many roles, we've got it covered. And at John Deere, your great work is rewarded with opportunities for career growth too. You'll find what you need to be successful and feel appreciated right here. Cool. A place for everyone to find their purpose. So they talk about their culture. Here's another video. I'm pausing that. Related content, helping people thrive, sell it. I didn't see nothing specific outside of what we read about the benefits, like they went into deeper detail. So let's go back up here to the top, our company, and right over here for this arrow, let's see if they mention benefits specifically. No. I think that's about it, the best we're going to do with the benefits, guys. So let's go ahead and go to investor relations. We already behind with everything that's been happening tonight anyway. So let's go ahead and go to investor relations. I turned my head after I clicked it. It don't look like it changed anything. Our company, investor relations, right here. Click it. Oh, man. Now this ain't working, guys. So let's see if they have it down here at the bottom of the page. Investor relations. Nope. Don't see it down there. Let's go home. Let's go to the home page. Let's try it from here. Our company, investor relations. Are you kidding me? So does their website not work when you click on that? So if I click locations, that changes. But if I click investor relations, that link isn't active. Wow. Didn't I tell you it's always something? Oh, let's move on. Let's just move on. All right. So let's go here. We got that prompter. Yup. We are still talking about John Deere. So let's talk about their clients and partners, guys. The investor relations link doesn't even work on their website. From what I just saw, it didn't work for me, at least. So let's talk about their clients and partners, the S&P 500 index companies. All right. John Deere and Company, that's not the company name. I was so used to saying John Deere. Deere and Company does have clients and partners that are listed in the S&P 500. Some notable names include Microsoft Corporation, ticker MSFT, Cummins Incorporated, ticker CMI, and Verizon Communications Incorporated, ticker VZ. Okay, now let's talk about the mobile limitations before we move forward. Before we look at the charts, remember, professionals trade from a computer, not a mobile device. Mobile trading apps are limited and don't have all the full features that are available on full trading platforms, all right? Now let's look at John Deere on the charts. Yes, yes. So we go here, bam, bam, and bam. All right, all right. Ooh, tonight was a little rocky, guys. Ooh, it's been a little crazy. Websites acting up, equipment work. What's going to happen next? For some suspense here. All right, so we do have John Deere pulled up on the charts. We are looking at a 1-year daily chart. They have a 52-week low of $433. Here's their 52-week high of $674.19. And they closed today at $647.47. And we can remove this line. We don't need that. I just needed to look at something earlier. Now let's go ahead and look at a higher time frame. So now what we're looking at, guys, we are looking at a 10-year weekly chart. Let's confirm that it's 10 years. Here's 2016. So we do have 10 years. Here's their 10-year low of $80.35. Here's their 10-year high of $674.19, which is also our current 52-week high. Okay, so we got that. Now let's talk about this. Our 9-week simple moving average is coming in at $612.95. Our 200-week simple moving average is coming in at $449.58. Guys, let's zoom in and focus on where we are right now on the higher time frame. So this is Friday's candle, the closing week, and it came down as low as here. And it looks like on these previous weeks that would have held, that would have been some type of support. So let me go ahead and put that line there. I'm actually seeing that as like a zone, guys. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like as a zone. Let's put me back on the screen. We're gonna use the rectangle tool. And I'm liking the low on that week and the high on this week. Edit properties. We're going to extend this over to January 1st, 2027. We're going to change this color to our light gray, dark gray. And I'm seeing that as a support zone, guys. We have a lot of highs and lows and opens and closes within that range. Those specific price levels, the low end of that zone is at $574.30. The top end of that zone is coming in at $584.10. So that zone is about $10 wide as a support zone, okay, for John Deere. It's in the 500, so that's not that bad. Now, when we come down here, I'm seeing this level as a potential support zone as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and use the rectangle tool. If we use the low of this week right here, and we bring that down. Now, how wide is, we'll see how wide it's going to be after I put it there. So let's edit the properties, change the color first to the darker gray, extend this over to January 1st, 2027. We got that. And now we're going to take this back to at least, what year is that? 2024. So January 2024. So we're going to change this right here. 2024, January 1st, 2024. There we go, guys. Okay. So I'm seeing that as a support zone as well. Here's the top end of that zone. And this week right here was the one we used as the low. Or it was the high on this week right here. I'm not sure which one we used, but we can find out by going right here. So edit properties. So the low end of that zone is at $519.28. $519, and the top end of that zone is at $528.45, which you can see right here. But I wanted to figure out which week did I use. Did I use this one? So the high on that week is, yeah, it's that we used this week right here. So that was the week of July 21st, 2025. All right, guys, I'm satisfied with what we have right here on the higher time frame on the 10-year weekly chart. And we already went over our simple moving averages, which was the 9-week and the 200-week. So let's go ahead and go back down to our 1-year daily chart. And look, we have some prices in the day candles that's responding to those zones that we put on the chart. I want to extend this gray area a little further over to the left. It's bothering me. So let me go ahead and extend this so we can just go back 1 year and it'll be enough. There we go. All right. Now, I was looking at this earlier because I was trying to figure out where did it look like it found resistance at. So I want to show you what I saw and how I'm looking at it. OK, so right over here near the 52-week high, take me off the screen. I want to make sure I'm not blocking anything. When I do price levels, I like to catch as many highs, lows, opens, and closes as possible. So let me show you the difference between these two. If we use, I'm trying to pull up the price level tool. Here it is. If we use the high of today, for example, and then we looked over here to see where it responded, it didn't catch any of those three things perfectly. It caught the high, like the wick over here, the low wick over here, and then it's in the middle of the body of that candle. But if you look at the close of today's candle, you're going to see something totally different. So let's put the price level at the close of today. And let's remove this first one. Now, when we come over here and look, we catch the high of this day, the high of that day, the close is closer to the close of this day, and the low of this day. And then it's in the midpoint of the body of this candle, which is significant. And just to make sure and explain that to you, put me on the screen. When you have a big body candle, you can use the midpoint of the body of that candle as potential support and resistance. So to prove that that's near the 50% mark of that candle, I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to zoom in on that section. We're going to get the Fibonacci retracement tool, and we're going to connect it to the open and the close. And you see, now if I remove that price level, let's expand it so you can see it. The 50% level is almost overlapping that price level that we had. So I'm gonna hide the Fibonacci tool or remove it, and then I'll put it back. 647.47, we put it back, and then we remove the price level tool, is 647.81. So it's a few cents off. So to me, that level is way more accurate than putting it at the high of today's candle. So I'm preferring to put it at the close of today's candle, on the close of today's candle. And that's why, because I have support from the historical price data of what we just looked at with the midpoint of this body, the low of this candle. So I'm gonna give you the dates. So that's February 19th. That's the mid body. You got the low of February 20th. You got the close of February 23rd. You got the high of February 24th. And then you have the high of February 25th. That's where it closed at today as far as finding resistance. So I'm liking that resistance level at $647.47 today. That's why I'm liking that. And I'm ignoring the wick part, even though we looked at it. That's not as significant to me. Same thing here, guys. So right here, if we use the high of this candle right here, we can see, or we can use the high of that candle. Let's use that one because I look further over to the left. So we're going to remove that one. And we're going to use the high of this candle right here. And then we can also do it as a zone, but let's just keep it simple for right now. So if we use the high on that candle, we get closer to being specific with these other candles. So you got the high of July 29th on this red candle. You have the high of July 7th. You have the close of July 6th. You have the close of June 30th. And then when we come further back, you have the high of March 2nd. You have the low of February 24th. You have the open of February 19th. So that's why I'm liking those levels. So that's at $633.80. To see that as potential support because the price is above that right now. And then, you know, we like to use the 9. So the 9-day simple moving average is at $610.74. And then we have the 200 simple moving average coming in at $558.98. So if this support zone right here that doesn't hold that we got from the higher time frame, then I'm looking forward to find support right here on the $558.98 on the 200-day simple moving average. And there was something else that stood out to me earlier that I wanted to show you guys too. So let me browse over this with my eyes, like skim this real quick to see what it was. Okay, I got it. So here's what I was seeing earlier, and then we can get ready to get the stock quote and move on. Remember how we've been looking at previous gaps turning into support? If we look right here, there was a previous gap right here between July 29th and July 30th. So if I extend this over to January 1st, 2027, and then we make this the darker gray right here, you can see how today's candle tested the top of that previous gap as support. It kind of looked like it was in the middle of nowhere. It came just past the 9-day simple moving average. So those were two things it caught as support. The 9-day simple moving average and this previous gap, guys. And even looking at that previous gap, now that I put it there, look at how the opens, lows, highs, and closes are responding to that zone. And it was also a previous gap, and we can put those price levels there. So here was the low end of that gap coming in at $604.77. Here's the top end of that gap coming in at $608.21. So we can see how those candles responded to that price level, okay? So now let's go ahead and get our stock quote for Deere and Company, or John Deere, whatever you want to call them. So let's go up here to the settings, cut on our floating data box, and mouse over today's candle. So John Deere opened today at $623.26. They had a high of $654.28. They had a low of $607.90, and they closed today at $647.47. Guys, that was a trading range of $46.38. Now, as far as volume, Guys, they traded 2.3 million shares of this stock today. Is that a big deal? Is that a little deal? We're about to find out. So let's go up here, cut our floating data box off, take me off the screen. And now when we look over here, the average trading volume for John Deere in a daily trading session, guys, is 1.3 million shares. Today, they did 2 times that volume, roughly 2 times that volume, trading 2.3 million today, almost 2.4. So that was this green candle right here. Now, Thursday's candle, this candle right here, they traded 3.2 million that day. So the volume was even higher, which makes sense because yesterday, Thursday, was when earnings were announced. And they were announced before the market opened on Thursday, with the conference call coming in at 10 a.m. Eastern time, okay? So that's what we have there. Put me back on the screen. Now let's talk about the volume percentile, guys. Volume percentile. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, today's volume was higher than 95.6% of those trading days' volumes. To be exact, only 11 of those days had higher volume than today. Okay, cool. So we got through it. Oh, we got through it. We got through it. So let's move on, guys. Let's move on. So let's go here, 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 here. Good, good. All right. Community support. Back to the community. I would appreciate it very much if you guys share the stream, hit the like button, subscribe, and if you wish to send a monetary gift to support the content, Cash App and PayPal links are down in the description as well as on the ticker on the screen. You notice I did that a little different. Most of the time I'll be pointing to the top. It's down here, guys. That's where it is, okay? And it takes $10 to become the first sponsor of tonight's show, okay? I got my phone. So I got my Cash App right in front of me, so I'm ready, all right? But let's keep it moving. So the S&P 500 index. Okay, let's look and see what the S&P 500 index did today by using the SPY ETF. This ETF gives investors an opportunity to participate in the broader U.S. market by allowing them to own a percentage of each company inside the S&P 500 index, okay? So let's go back to the charts. Let's go back. So here we go. Bam, bam. Take that down, put that up, and go here. All right. So right up here in the symbol box, guys, we need to put in SPY, SPY, the SPY, which is taking a minute to load, but we got it. All right. So let's go ahead and zoom in. No, we don't have to zoom in yet. Let's talk about this chart, and then we'll start doing the technicals. I'm starting to move a little too fast. So here we go. Guys, we are looking at the SPY on a 1-year daily chart. Here's their 52-week low of $629.28. Here's their 52-week high of $779.37. And they closed today at $765.72. Now, let's go ahead and go to the higher time frame. And once this leaves, okay, now we're looking at a 10-year weekly chart. Take me off the screen. Let's confirm that this is 10 years. There's 2016. So here's their 10-year low, $208.38. Here's their 10-year high of $779.37, which is also our current 52-week high. Let's get our 9-week simple moving average coming in at $752.59. And here's our 200-week simple moving average coming in at $553.92. All right, guys, so we can go back down to our 1-year daily chart. Put me back on the screen. Let's zoom in and look at the current price action. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Okay, guys, so just as a recap, if you've been watching every night, then this is going to be a little old to you, but I want to make sure that we're covering this for the people that might be tuning in for the first time, us breaking down this SPY. So let me add this in here. Let me add this in here, and then we'll, yeah, that's good. Okay, so this is what's been going on, guys. The SPY had a nice little rally, right? So boom, it starts to rally. Now that rally started on July 29th. I looked at a few other channels. They was calling this a bull flag. I wasn't seeing this as a bull flag. I was looking at it as a trend change. So I'm about to break that down in 1 second. I just want to show you the rally first. So right here, is the first sign of trouble. These two candles right here at the top of this rally. This is a dark cloud cover. So that is a bearish candlestick pattern that appeared at the top of this uptrend, at the top of this rally. So then after that happened, that means that it's a possibility that the trend may reverse. Now, reverse doesn't mean up to down, because there's three different trends. You got up, down, and sideways. So if it reverses, it could go from up to sideways. And that is what happened. That's what I was seeing. So let's zoom in a little bit more and focus on how the SPY is behaving right now and what's going on. Let's expand this a little bit more. That's a little bit too much, but that's it. That's what we're looking for. So they were calling this a bull flag. So if they looked at this as a bull flag, they would have did something like this. They would have drew like a little arrow here and saying, yeah, now when it breaks out the top, that's bullish confirmation. Guys, that's not what I was seeing. But that's what some people were saying. What I was seeing was that this is consolidation. So here were the price levels that the SPY started to trade in between. I don't want to block this. I'm not blocking it. So here we go. SPY is trading in between these two price points. Between $776.85, the top of the range, the bottom of the range was $767.46. Yes, briefly for 2 days, it did peak out of the top, making a new 52-week high at $779.37. But the majority of the body of these candles within the recent 2 weeks, let's get this time frame. So what we can do, we can get a trend line tool and it'll tell us how many trading days this was. Come on, mouse. Here we go. So if we connect this body to this body, that's saying 15 days. So about 3 weeks. So about 3 weeks is trading in between that, in that range between $776.85 and $767.47. The trend is sideways. So after it's sideways, we're looking for it to break out the top or the bottom of consolidation. So what I was looking at was that the 9-day simple moving average, this green dashed line, was starting to approach the current price action. So someone could have been paying attention to looking at bearish confirmation if one of those daily candles were able to close below the 9-day simple moving average. And that happened on August 17th. Once it closed below that 9-day simple moving average, guys, it has not been able to get back above it. So here's Friday, here's Thursday, here's Wednesday, here's Tuesday. So that was Monday that it closed below the 9-day simple moving average. The closest it's gotten to it was right here on Wednesday when the high came up and tested it, but it wasn't able to close back above it. And then on Thursday, it fell outside of that consolidation range altogether. Now today, we ended up getting almost a doji. And today we opened and closed almost at the exact same price, right at the open of the candle price of the SPY's price for Thursday, right near the open of that red candle for yesterday. Okay. So it's still not trading above that 9-day simple moving average. And it's hitting that resistance at $767.46. Now, yesterday I was talking about, I wasn't surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the SPY makes it down here to fill this gap. So we still have a gap that happened between August 3rd and August 4th that has not been filled yet. But so far, that resistance is holding below the 767, the 767.46, and below the 9-day simple moving average. Okay. So we got to see what's going to happen next week, but that's where we are with the SPY as far as right now. Let's go ahead and get the stock quote for the SPY, and then we can talk about the volume. So let's cut on the floating data box, mouse over today's candle. So the SPY opened today at $766.05. They had a high of $767.85. They had a low of $764.17, and they closed today at $765.72, which was a trading range of $3.68. Guys, the volume, they traded 39 million shares of this ETF today. Is that a big deal? Is that a little deal? We're about to find out. So let's go up here, cut off the floating data box, take me off of the screen, and here we go. So the average trading volume for the SPY in a daily trading session is 70.1 million shares in a daily trading session. I'll keep pointing this out. Guys, the time frame for this average is 252 trading days. So that's a significant amount of time to get an average. It fell back below the 40 million shares. So it's back in the 30 million range, guys. So today's volume, we got 39 million shares traded today for this doji candle right here. And then we were back above the 30 millions yesterday. So this candle right here, Thursday's candle, finally got into 45.5 million shares traded on that day. I believe this was in the 40s as well. So the way we can confirm that, cut the floating data box back on and look at the volume in the bottom box. Yeah, it was 40 million that day as well. But the majority of these candles, there's 43. So you got 40, 43. This should be 30, 30, 30. A lot of these have been 30 up here at these highs. Okay. So it's getting back near the 40s. So the volume is picking up as the stock price is declining, guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut the floating data box back off. Put me back on the screen. Let's remove some of these arrows and pull this map back, this chart back. There we go. Take that off. Okay, so volume percentile, guys. Out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, today's volume was higher than 5.6% of those trading days' volumes. To be exact, only 14 of those days had lower volume than today. Okay. And just in case I didn't tell you, let's go over this one more time and then we can move on. The 9-day simple moving average is at $770.53, and the 200-day simple moving average is at $707.55. Okay, we covered everything with that as far as the SPY. I got to get me some new mice because these things acting up. But anyway, let's move on. Let's go here. Bam, bam, bam. We got the sponsor thing up. Yep, cool. Take this down. Pedal. All right. Sector performance tracker, time to follow the money. Let's look at each sector inside the S&P 500 index to see how they perform today. Let's do that, guys. So let's go back to the charts, go here, take that down. Sector performance, absolutely. So we go up here to our grid, change this to sector performance. I already have our notes ready to go. So yeah, guys, let's go over the SPY percentage change and all 11 sectors inside of the SPY to see how they performed today. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so the SPY closed today up 0.4%. Energy down 0.2%. Materials up 2.1%. Industrials up 0.3%. Consumer discretionary up 1.2%. Consumer staples up 0.8%. Healthcare up 1.3%. Financials up 0.9%. Information technology up 0.1%. Communication services up 0.7%. Utilities down 2.3%. And real estate finished the day flat, so it seems. So what we're going to do, we're going to go over here, and now we can get 2 decimal places to be exact. So if we look at real estate, it's going to be XLRE. Yeah, guys, they finished flat, like perfectly zero. So let's go ahead and pull up our notes as well. So bam. And guys, we already have it filled out, so let's go ahead and go over this. So our number one gainer for today is materials, finishing the day up 2.14%. Our second biggest gainer for today is healthcare, finishing the day up 1.29%. And then consumer discretionary is our third biggest gainer today, finishing the day up 1.15%. Now, as far as our 3 biggest losers, our biggest loser is utilities, guys, and they finished the day down 2.28%. Second biggest loser is energy. They finished the day down 0.17%. And real estate, our third biggest loser, they finished the day flat. They ain't gain nothing, they ain't lose nothing. They're just sorry. Okay, so that's what we got there. Now that we have our data for the whole week, now we can actually look and see how these sectors perform this week. So let's go over this really quick. So right here, percentage highlight change, we're going to change that to both. And then we're going to start with communication services. So communication services was our number one loser on Monday. So they were kind of quiet this week. Consumer discretionary, they showed up 4 times this week. So they were our number 3 loser on Monday, number 2 gainer on Wednesday, number 2 loser on Thursday, and our number 3 gainer today. Consumer staples, they showed up 3 times this week. So they were our number 2 loser on Monday, our number 3 gainer on Tuesday, and our number 3 loser on Thursday. Now, energy showed up 4 times. So energy was our number 1 gainer on Monday, number 1 gainer on Tuesday, number 1 gainer on Thursday, and our number 2 loser today. Now we're on financials. Financials was kind of quiet this week. So they showed up as our number 3 loser on Wednesday. Healthcare showed up 4 times. So they were our number 2 gainer on Tuesday, our number 1 gainer on Wednesday, our number 1 loser on Thursday, and our number 2 gainer today. Industrials, they showed up 3 times and they were loser every time. Actually, they were our gainer on Monday, but because they lost the least, because only 2 companies finished green out of all the sectors on Monday, they were our number 3 gainer, but they still ended up down that day. And they were our number 2 loser on Tuesday and our number 2 loser on Wednesday. We got information technology. They were our number 2 gainer on Monday, our number 1 loser on Tuesday, and our number 1 loser on Wednesday. Materials was our number 3 loser on Tuesday, our number 3 gainer on Wednesday, our number 3 gainer on Thursday. Now peep that. Even though they were the gainer on Thursday, they actually finished that day down because only 2 sectors out of 11 finished that day green. Okay. And they were our number 1 gainer today. Real estate. Quiet, guys. Quiet this week. A little quiet. So they finished as our number 2 gainer on Thursday and our number 3 loser today, but it was flat. They didn't lose. They didn't gain. Utilities, they were our number 1 loser today. All right. So that's what we have. Now we're going to go over these sectors as far as how they perform for the whole week on our weekly recap live on Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you check that out. So we got our notes, guys, so we can go ahead and move on. So let's go here and let's talk about this. So we take that down, go here, do that. Okay, we're cool. We're cool. Biggest gainers and losers. Now let's look at the S&P 500 biggest gainer and loser of the day. But first, we're going to look at the loser so we can end the night on a high note. All right. So let's go back to the charts. Bam, bam, bam. We can leave like up for right now. All right. So we're going to change this grid back to pro market close. We can collapse this. Go up to our market watch tab, but I don't know what we have there. So I'm going to take this off the screen momentarily. Yeah, I don't have the right watch list pulled up. So let me take care of all that before I bring you guys over. Okay, we're good. We're good. Market recap. Absolutely. So here we go, guys. The biggest loser in the S&P 500 today is Marvell Technology Incorporated. I don't know if it's Marvel or Marvell. I should have looked it up, but hey, we got it. Ticker MRVL. All right. They lost 5.57% today. Their previous close was $251.01, and they closed today at $237.04. Now, let's go ahead and do a hypothetical. Pull up our calculator. Let's say somebody invested $6,500. Let's do $6,500 today. So $6,500, and they lost that 5.57%. We negate that. Guys, they would have lost $362.05 of their investment. We add the $6,500 principal back to it. They'd be left with $6,137.95. Got it. Now, let's go ahead and go over here. We already have it linked, so select Marvell. We're going to call them Marvell. Marvell Technology. Then we're going to go to Analyze, the Analyze tab. And we need to go to the Fundamentals tab, sub tab. All right, guys, we can see that Marvell Technology Incorporated is in the information technology sector. So, okay, so we're going to see how that sector performed today, that Marvell is inside of, how the industry performed and the sub industry performed. that Marvell is inside of, as I already said. Now, let me look at our notes just as a reminder, or we can use our notes. Who is the biggest? I just got a message. I'm going to talk about you in 1 second. I just heard the chat, so I'm going to look up in 1 second. So utilities was our biggest losing sector today. Information technology wasn't even a top loser or a top 3 gainer today, so they're not in our notes. Let me pull up this chat. J-Rock, man, I'm so glad to see you. I ain't seen you in a while in the chat. Man, it was tough getting this show started tonight, so it's a blessing to see a familiar face in the chat, or at least a message. I can't see your face, but I can see a message. J-Rock, man, I appreciate you. Bless love, fam. Hope you had an awesome day. Hope you had an awesome day in the markets, and everything's been beautiful and well with you, man. I appreciate you. Missing you in the chat. Been missing you in the chat. All right, so let's go ahead and keep the show moving. J-Rock in the building. Always a pleasure. Loyal viewer. So let's go ahead and go here. All right, Marvell. So what we're going to do, guys, we are going over to the Market Watch tab. Then we're going to go over to the Visualize tab. We have the S&P 500 heat map pulled up for the S&P 500 watch list. Now we're going to information technology. So let's take me off the screen, guys. It's right here. Marvell is right here, guys. And like I said, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, but they're in the semiconductors and semiconductor equipment industry. So let's go there, and they're in the semiconductors sub industry. And it looks mixed, guys. It looks like a nice blend of green and red today. It looks balanced in that sub industry today. So let's expand this over. I accidentally clicked something. They're in the semiconductors. There's Marvell right here. Bam. Let me extend this over a little bit more, and then we'll break this down. So here is the sub industry. Here is the industry. And here is the sector. So we have that. Now let's go ahead and back out and look and browse over how these perform. So now we're back at the industry. A few more reds popped up over here because that's the semiconductor materials. Now, if we go back to information technology, I think I'm seeing more green than red here, guys. What about you? So we can get the specifics by doing this. Let's go up here to the heat map, change this to index watch. Right here where it says select watch list, we're going to change this to the information technology watch list, because this has all of the companies in the S&P 500 that are in that sector. So that's 74 companies, and we can see that we have 50 companies that's gaining today. So at 50 advancing and 24 declining. So we got about 2/3 gaining today, guys. So just eyeballing it, we was right. We're seeing more green than red, okay? So that's how the information technology sector is performing. We looked at all of that. Now we can go back over here and look at the company profile before we visit Marvell Technology's website. So here's their official company name, Marvell Technology Incorporated. Here's a link to their website. It's also down in the description for your convenience. Let's read a little bit about the company and then we can go. Marvell Technology Incorporated, together with its subsidiaries, provides data infrastructure semiconductor solutions and spanning the data center core to network edge in the United States, Argentina, China, India, Israel, Japan, Singapore, South Korea, Taiwan, Vietnam, and internationally. Ooh, I'm so glad I can read. It was a mouthful right there. All right, so let's pull up their website. I think that's it. Yeah. All right, blow that up. Are we zoomed all the way in? We good. We got their ticker up. Yep. We got the sponsor up. I don't think that blocked anything while we was looking at the heat map. I hope it didn't. All right, guys, I waited on y'all, so I didn't go over this ahead of time. So let's browse over it. I see company at the top, and it's not giving us a drop down. So we had to click on it to get it. Cool. All right, so we have about, that's wonderful. We got careers and we got investors. So everything we need, guys, is going to be right up here under company. But we're going to browse over the website to see what we can find. Polarition? I think that's what that said. Polarition. Marvell acquires Polarition, advancing the future of optical connectivity. Marvell enables AI infrastructure. To realize the promise of AI, hyperscalers are undertaking one of the largest infrastructure build-outs in history, and they rely on Marvell as a critical AI infrastructure partner, accelerated infrastructure for connectivity and custom compute. Guys, I think that's a video. Yeah, it is. So you can watch that on your own. Links are down in the description for that. So you got markets. data center, enterprise, carrier, scaling AI. As the number and size of AI models explodes, data center infrastructure requirements are evolving rapidly, forcing innovation across the compute, interconnect, and switching domains of accelerated infrastructure. Got it. Explore more to explore about Marvell, careers, and investors. They got everything you need right down here too. All right, so let's just go ahead and go here to about Marvell. Our company. At Marvell, we believe that infrastructure powers progress, that execution is as essential as innovation, that better collaboration builds better technology. They have a lot to read over here. Remember, links to the website are down in the description for your convenience. That's why at Marvell, we go all in with you. Because of a foundation built on partnership, anything is possible. So that's the chairman and CEO, Matt Murphy. Accelerated infrastructure is the foundation of AI. I believe that's the same video we saw on the main page. A culture of collaboration. Our leading edge solutions are the essential building blocks of the infrastructure technology of the future. More to explore. Okay, guys, so we went over that. Let's go ahead and go to careers. I don't like the way that link is at the bottom, so let's go here, because they actually have a single link for careers, unlike down there. So careers, come build a future with us. Own what's next. Did they zoom us out? No, we're good. That's at 150, guys. It just looks small. With employee ownership as the cornerstone of how Marvell operates, our people's achievements enable our industry-defining advances. Our culture, what's more essential than the technology that connects the world? The people who make it possible. Got it. All right, our culture, world changing solutions begins with you. At Marvell, you have the ability to affect the arc of individual lives, lift the trajectory of entire industries, and fuel the transformative potential of tomorrow. Inclusion and diversity, benefits. Thank gosh. We found it, guys. Benefits. So let's browse over this page. We're going to come back and we're going to click right there on benefits. I'm going to speed up a little bit so now that we know where it is. Life at Marvell. Innovation, community, internship, and early career hiring. What makes Marvell ready to join us? Design engineering, software engineering, physical design and layout, hardware engineering, more to explore. Okay, guys, we got it. Oh, no, I didn't want to click that. Okay, so we're going back to the benefits. Bam, here we go. Look at this. All right, so this is kind of vague. It's short. Rest assured, there's something even more essential than our technology, and that is the people who make it possible. As our most important resource, our employees' mental, physical, and financial well-being is paramount. To keep you and your family happy and healthy now and into retirement, you'll have a host of wellness programs as well as competitive employee benefit packages. Guys, they didn't go into much detail compared to what we see on other websites, but it depends on the company, of course. So let's go ahead and move on, and let's go to investor relations. Now, hopefully, unlike John Deere, this company will actually have something on that page, a link that's active, which it did, so we're good. So right under company stock data. Okay, so that's where we need to go, but we're going to browse over this page first, okay? Investor relations, Q2 2027 Marvell Technology Incorporated earnings conference call. Announcements, NVIDIA AI ecosystem expands as Marvell joins force through NVLink Fusion. Latest news, upcoming event, latest financial results, latest annual filing, company information, stock snapshot, company over. What did I just say? Stock snapshot, company overview, email alerts, IR contacts. Okay, guys, we went over it. So here we go. Stock data, quote and chart. There we go, guys. That's what they have available on the chart for it on their website for investors. They do have other tools. It looks like they pay dividends as well. Yes. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on and talk about these other details about the company that I have. All right. So let's go here. We already had a ticker pulled up. Yes, we do. Okay. All right. Let's keep it moving. Marvell Technology Incorporated, ticker MRVL. When It comes to their goods and services, guys. They manage data infrastructure semiconductors across the data center, enterprise networking, and automotive markets, offering solutions such as, number one, complete optical connections, including signal processors and interconnect modules for cloud data centers. Number two, scalable scalable custom computer chips, including specialized processors and switches for enterprise networks. And number three, optimized high-speed Ethernet systems tailored for vehicle networking, carrier infrastructure, and storage controllers. Looking at their S&P 500 clients and partners, notable names include Amazon.com Incorporated, ticker AMZN, Cisco Systems Incorporated, ticker CSCO, and Microsoft Corporation, ticker MSFT. Now, let's look at Marvell technology on the charts. Bam, bam, and we're good. We are good. Go to the charts. Bam. Okay, guys. So let's get it. Let's get into it. So we got Marvell pulled up on the charts. We're looking at a 1-year daily chart. Here is their 52-week low of $61.44. Here's their 52-week high of $329.88. And they closed today at $237.04. Now, let's go ahead and look at a higher time frame. So now we're looking at the 10-year weekly chart. There's 2016. So we do have 10 years. Here's their 10-year low of $12.03. And a 10-year high of $329.88, which is also our 52-week high, guys. Now, based on where the price action is right now, we don't have any historical data outside of this 1-year daily chart, so we can skip this. We're pretty good here, but what we can do is to get our 9-week and our 200-week simple moving averages, okay? So our 9-week simple moving average is coming in at $221.79. Our 200-week simple moving average is coming in at $82.80, guys. It's all the way down here. So the price is significantly is nowhere near it. Okay, but that's where it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back down to our 1-year daily chart. And let's start breaking down these technicals. Guys, it looked like it gapped a few times. Yeah, I don't this is choppy. Marvell gaps around quite a lot. For me, just eyeballing it, I'm seeing a few gaps. Let me just go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. Show you what I'm talking about. And it responded to one of those gaps as well. So this gap right here, this previous gap, you have a gap here, you have a gap here. It's very small, but it's a gap. You got a gap there. You have a gap here. You got a gap here. Now these gaps have been filled. I'm just showing you how often it's gapped. Because if we're looking for previous gaps to turn into potential support and resistance, the whole doggone chart will have resistance at every turn. Here's another one. I missed this one. This stock just gaps a lot. And it gapped recently, like right up in here. Okay, so I'm going to leave those there for right now, but let me show you this one. So if we extend this one over and we make this the darker gray, and we extend this over to January 1st, 2027, you can see that's where it found resistance at today. And this gap right here, that one we highlighted there, is at the bottom. So it found resistance on that previous gap. So when you're looking, so this is what I want to share with you. This is what I'm seeing. So if you do run across a company, or at least what I'm seeing when I run across a chart with a company that gaps frequently, you'll see the price respond multiple times to specific gaps. And the wider the gap, it seems the more significant it is. You know what I'm saying? That makes a little bit more sense. So let's go ahead and put these price levels here. So that's the low end of that previous gap, which is acting as potential support and resistance. So being as so, the price action closed here today on that red candle. $225.14 is going to be the support. And $252.43 is going to be the resistance. And guys, that's also near a psychological price point, which is $250. Okay. Now, if we're looking back here, I'm liking this gap right here, guys. This gap, and I'm gonna show you why. So if we go ahead and we do this, so we have a gap here, we have a gap here. Now, why do I like this one? This one, it looks like it's gonna overlap that one. So if it's gonna overlap that one, I'm looking at that as a zone. So let's go ahead and expand it so you can see what that looks like. So we're gonna expand this over to January 1st, of course. And then we're gonna take this one back to 2026. We're gonna go back. I don't even know what date that is. I just wanted to go back far enough to where it goes all the way back. You see what I'm saying? So now that it overlapped that previous gap, it's inside of it. So it's like it's included. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's included. So let's go ahead and lighten this up. Let's lighten this color up to that darker gray. And what was the date we had here? We had June 1st, 2026. It's the Libra in me, guys. I just want it to be even. June 1st, 2026. Is that what I said? I think that's what I said. June 1st, 2026. Yeah, okay. And you can see that other gap is included in that range. So let's put those price levels. That was the low end of the gap. That was the high end of the gap. So you got 298.18 and then you got 290.95. Guess what? 298.18 is also near another psychological price point, guys. That's near 300. Okay. And I'm liking this right here. Let me change this. Okay. I'm liking this one. And it's close. You know, you could do that as a zone if you would like, but I'm just going to explain to you why I like this one. This is that perfect high, right? Because we use that one, of course. But that crosses this wick is near the close of this day and is near the open of that day. So those are significant price points of those individual candles. So you got three things. You have a high, a close, and an open. Right there on that price level at 317. So that's why I like 317. And you know, we also like to use, or I like to use, the 9-day simple moving average, the 9s and the 200s. So the 9-day simple moving average is coming in at $227.69. And our 200-day simple moving average is coming in at $145.07. Guys, that's not even in the shot right now. So it is trading above the 9-day simple moving average. And we've highlighted these previous gaps just to get an idea of where they were. So we have the 9, we have this zone. I'm looking to see, there's another gap we missed just to show you how often this thing gaps, man. This gap right here, bam. So that was between August 11th and August 12th. I'm looking back across the chart to see how well it's responding to that previous gap. This gap is a little wider right here, looking to see how it's responding to it. This gap looks like it's respected a little bit more. So let me fill this in so you can see it. I'm liking this one more, looking at historical price movements with it. So we went to, what was that, June 1st? Yeah, June 1st. So let's go back to June 1st. So we went back far enough, and now let's go forward. So we're going to go to January 1st, 2027. There we go, guys. So I'm liking that one. Now, if I extend it over a little bit more, you'll see why. So let's extend this back just a little bit more. These candles, you see how they responding to it? Like this low came down to the low end of that zone. This candle held as resistance. These candles responded to this gap that happened over here between these two candles. So let me put those price levels there. So that was August 3rd. That's the high of August 3rd and the low of August 4th. It looks like it's responding to that over here previously. You can see how the candles are responding to that previous gap. All right. So that's what I got for the technicals for Marvell technology. That's what I got. That's what I'm liking. That's what I'm seeing. So let me go ahead and pull up our floating data box and get our stock quote for Marvell. And if I'm saying that wrong, guys, put Avengers in the chat. So if you put Avengers in the chat, I know I'm supposed to be saying Marvel, but if it's Marvell, then just put you got it, or a thumbs up, or emoji or something. That'll help me know if I'm pronouncing it right. Because I don't want to deviate and go to YouTube and look it up or get the pronunciation. But I've been saying it Marvell all this time, and it might be Marvel. But anyway, just help me out if you can, if you're there. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So Marvell opened today at $252.39. They had a high of $252.52. They had a low of $233.28, and they closed today at $237.04. Guys, that was a trading range of $19.24. Okay, I'm Marvell. I'm saying it right. Thank you, J Rock. Thank you. Appreciate it. There we go. All right, let me take this down so you can see it. Appreciate you. Saying it right. Appreciate you. Got my back. There we go. Marvell Technology. All right, pull the chat down. Let's pull not that one. The loser. Yep, okay. So where were we? We were at, we talked about the close. Let's double down. So the trade, they closed, Marvell closed today at $237.04, which was a trading range of $19.24. The volume, guys, they traded 25.5 million shares of this stock today. Is that a big deal? Is that a little deal? We are about to find out. So let's go up here to the settings, cut off the floating data box, then take me off the screen. So here we go, guys. The average trading volume for Marvell in a daily trading session is 25.8 million shares. So they did about average today. They came real close. So they did about average today. So that's this red candle. Guys, this caught my attention, so I'm gonna break this down in a second because that's a candle pattern over there. I missed that. Okay, so here was Thursday's volume, coming in at 29.2 million shares traded that day. So that was slightly above average. So here's what just caught my attention, guys, and I'm glad. Oh, man. Okay, so how can we break this down? Let me put me back on the screen. So here's the downtrend, right? So there's the downtrend. It started to come up, and then it was trading in between this range. So here's consolidation. I'm seeing that as consolidation. So we see the trend change. There's a couple patterns that identifies this, guys. So now that I'm looking through it and really paying attention, I'm seeing it. So right here, so that is a harami pattern and a tweezer's top. So after seeing those two, that means a trend reversal. Remember how reversal doesn't mean that it's going to go from up to down. It just means, hey, pay attention. The trend is likely to change, or it can change. So then it started to go sideways after that pattern. So you have two patterns in one. That's a tweezer's top and a harami pattern. These two candles right here, candle 1 and candle 2. So that was August 4th and August 5th. Now this is what just caught my attention. So after the consolidation, of course, we're looking for it to either break out the top or the bottom. So it was trading in between those two ranges we identified. It continued to the top. But guys, these two candles created another bearish pattern. So it's another trend reversal indicator. The trend is likely to change. So that candle right there is a bearish engulfing pattern. The red candle is bigger than the green candle, and it appeared at the top of a short or a brief uptrend, and it's at the top of that resistance zone. Okay, so that's a bearish engulfing pattern that appeared after that consolidation breakout to the upside. It's a small breakout, but that caught my attention looking at that. Okay, so let's finish the volume percentile. So right here, the volume percentile, guys. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, Marvell traded higher than 66.7% of those trading days volumes. To be exact, only 84 of those trading days had higher volume than today. Okay, so that's what we have there, guys. And they do pay a dividend. I want to start making sure we mention that. So this company does pay a dividend. The last time they paid it, the last 2 times, let's zoom out and take me off the screen. So if I zoom out, bam, bam, we can see them. You got 4 of them, 6 cents, 6 cents, 6 cents, and 6 cents. The last time they paid it, that date was July 9th. I think that's if we hit it, it'll tell us will it tell us information too? No. I'm trying to center it, guys. It looks like, there it is. It was the 10th. They paid 6 cents on the 10th. So that was July 10th, the last time they paid a dividend. So we got that. All right, now let's move on. Put me back on the screen. Let's go back to the Market Watch tab. And let's fix all of this. So this needs to go back to S&P 500 heat map. Then we go over to the quotes tab, put this in descending order. Guys, the biggest gainer for today is Robinhood Markets Incorporated, ticker HOOD. Guys, they gained 13.7% today. Their previous close was $95.10. They closed today at $108.13. Let's go ahead and pull up our calculator, do a quick hypothetical. I believe we're using $6,500. So if somebody invested $6,500 in Robinhood and got that 13.7% gain, hit that, they would have gained $890.50 on top of their $6,500 principal. Total investment would have grown to $7,390.50. Bada boom, bada bing. We're good. All right, clear that out. Let's select Robinhood. Let's go over here to analyze. And here they are, guys. Robinhood is in the financials sector. So we're going to see how that sector performed, the industry performed, and sub-industry performed that Robinhood Markets Incorporated is inside of. Quick glance at our notes. I don't remember financials showing up today, and they didn't. Okay. So we got that. Now let's go ahead and go to Market Watch tab, go to Visualize Sub tab. We are looking for financials. Financials is down here, right here. I'm going to take the sponsorship off for a moment because I don't want that to block anything on the heat map. So guys, capital markets is right here, and I'm seeing a lot of green in the capital markets, even over here in the financial services. Berkshire Hathaway is a big market cap. So it looks like it's a lot of red, but that's only one company, guys. You got PayPal and Berkshire look like the only two companies out of the financial services industry that lost today. Okay. Now, when we're looking at the capital markets industry, that's where Robinhood is. So we go inside of there, guys. I'm seeing way more green than red. What about you? Now, when we go over here to Hood, investment banking and brokerage, this is the sub industry, guys. All of that's green. So this is Charles Schwab. This is the platform we're using. Thinkorswim offered by Charles Schwab. This is the Charles Schwab company. This is Goldman Sachs. That's Morgan Stanley. This is Interactive Brokers. That's Raymond James Financial. Okay, so let's go ahead and start backing our way out. So here's the industry. Let's do this one more time. Let's break this down. Go here and we'll point at it. So here's the sub industry. Here's the industry. And here's the sector. There we go. All right. Now, when we back all the way out, what we're doing, we're going to go back to financials. So here's the heat map for financials. Now, I want to know how many companies advanced and declined. And we had talked about that earlier. So we're going to change this to index watch, and we're going to change this watch list to the financials. So this is all of the companies that's inside the S&P 500 in the financial sector. If you want that watch list, I have a video down in the description where I show you guys how to create it. Okay. So that's there. Take me off the screen. Let's finish looking. So there's 76 companies in the financial sector in the S&P 500. Okay. So we have 61 companies that finished green today and 15 that declined. So you can see the tickers here, or you can mouse over it this way. And it also shows us data over here on the right. It will show you data right here. Show you data right over here as you mouse on stuff over here. Okay. So that's that. Now let's go back to the Analyze tab and let's talk about the company profile. So Robinhood Markets Incorporated is the official company name. Here's a link to their website. And let's talk. The link to the website is also down in the description for your convenience. Let's read a little bit about the company and then we'll check the website out. Robinhood Markets Incorporated operates financial services platform in the United States. They didn't spend a lot of time on that, did they? All right, so let's go ahead and move on. We already had it pulled up. Here's their website. Let's blow this up. Bam. I'm browsing over this. Make sure we're zoomed all the way in. Yeah, we're zoomed all the way in, guys. So we're good. We're good. Now, I haven't looked over this ahead of time, so we about to have fun going over this together. Let me take me off the screen. Unlike those other websites, I don't think they're going to have like the company things at the top and all of that. I think everything we see up here is going to be based on the customer. This is not going to be for people looking for jobs and investors and things like that. So everything we need, guys, I believe is going to be at the bottom. So let's go ahead and start. It won't even collapse after you click on it twice. We got to reload the page to get that to go away. Let's go ahead and go. Here we go. Put me back on the screen. Trade all in one place. All right. Manage your portfolio on Robinhood, stocks, ETFs, crypto, options, futures, and prediction markets. Getting started with as little as $1. Send your agent to the market. Agentic trading. Give your agent a dedicated Robinhood account to trade in, then monitor activity and performance right in the app. Get started. Agentic credit card. A virtual credit card built for your AI agent with 3% cash back and controls you define. Got it. Intuitive trading tools. Build your strategy and track the market trends seamlessly. Trade stocks, options, crypto, and more on Robinhood Legend and the Robinhood app. Learn more. There's some type of disclaimer down there. Robinhood Crypto. Get started with Robinhood Crypto. Trade crypto 24/7. Learn more. Robinhood strategies, your portfolio handled by the pros. Robinhood protection guarantee. We work hard to keep your data safe and secure. We protect your account from unauthorized activity. We provide multi-factor authentication on all accounts. We've got your back. We're available to you 24/7. Become a better investor on the go right in the app. Join a new generation of investors. Okay, here we go, guys. And it's nuts. This green is not easy on the eyes. But here we go. Right up under company, guys. We got About Us, Careers, and Investor Relations. So we found it. Let's go ahead and get started with About Us. Put me back on the screen. Yeah, I remember covering Robinhood once before because this green, you don't forget it. We're on a mission to democratize finance for all. At Robinhood Markets, our values are in service of our customers. We strive to uphold our values every day. Insane customer focus, high performance, safety always, one Robinhood, participation is power, first principles thinking, lean, and disciplined. We believe the financial system should be built to work for everyone. Okay, a more human way to learn, truly digestible financial news, quality execution on every trade. Meet our founders. Join us and build a financial system for everyone. Got it. So we made it through that. Take me off the screen. Let's go to careers, guys. Let's see if we can find them benefits. Zoom in. We're already zoomed in enough. Put me back on the screen. I do not accept. I don't even know what they're trying to do. Build the future. We're looking for benefits, guys. Let's get ready to wrap this show up. I want to move a little bit faster. How we build. We are a collaborative, intensely driven team operating at the highest level of performance. So ethics, we operate with an extreme sense of urgency. We believe in doing more with less. Bureaucracy won't slow you down. Expectations are high. Excellence is rewarded. Hear from our team. What we value at Robinhood. Insane, because we read this before, guys. We read this, and I don't see the arrow to like browse through this either. We invest in top talent, your growth, your lifestyle, your rewards, your community, your office life. We don't chase the future of finance. We define it, and we're just getting started. Join our team. So I believe these are different departments within the company. Guys, I still didn't see anything for benefits. So I'm gonna browse over this one more time. Maybe it was something that I missed. Here are drop downs. Your lifestyle. Here it is. Best in class benefits to fuel your work. So let's click that. Yep. There it is, guys. It was hiding up in there, but we found it. I'm not going to read all of it, but that's where they are, okay? And it's not clickable, so it doesn't take you anywhere else. I'll take me off the screen briefly so you can see it. Remember, links to this website are also down in the description for your convenience. So let's go ahead and move on to investor relations. Down here at the bottom, that is not there because it took us to a whole different website to go here. So let's go back to the main page. Take me off the screen. Here's investor relations. Bam. All right, blow this up. Put me back on the screen. Here's some stats about the company. Stock info, stock. That's what we need, guys. Stock quote and chart right there at the top. Let's browse over this page and then we'll go there. Welcome, Robinhood investors. Stats about the company, latest financial reports, events, monthly metrics, press releases, news, additional information. And guys, we're at the bottom. So let's go to stock info. So there's the stock quote. There's the chart. Look at that green, boy. Green, terrible. All right, what else they got? Historical price lookup. So that's some other tools too. All right. So let's go ahead and keep it moving, guys. Let's keep it moving. Let's go here. Bam. And I want to close this because this is like so bright over here. But we got it. Here we go. So Robinhood Markets Incorporated, ticker HOOD. When it comes to their goods and services, guys, they manage retail financial technology across the brokerage, cryptocurrency, and personal banking markets, offering solutions such as, number one, complete investing and trading options, including fractional shares in crypto for retail investors. Number two, scalable cash management products, including high yield savings, debit cards, and retirement accounts for consumers. And number three, optimized financial technology systems tailored for commission-free trading, portfolio tracking, and automated deposits. All right. Looking at their S&P 500 clients and partners, notable names include Amazon.com Incorporated, ticker AMZN, CBOE Global Markets Incorporated, ticker CBOE, and S&P Global Incorporated, ticker SPGI. All right. Now let's look at Robinhood on the charts. Let's go back to the charts, guys. So here we go. Bam, bam. We already got their ticker up. All right. So here's the charts. And we've looked at Robinhood before. So that's why we have some of this doodling up on the screen. But we're going to get to it. We're going to go through it. We're going to break that down. So guys, we have Hood pulled up in our symbol box. We are looking at Robinhood on a 1 year daily chart. Here's their 52-week high of $153.86. Here's their 52-week low of $63.52. And they closed today at $108.13. So what we're about to do now, we're about to look at a higher time frame, take these boxes off the screen. So now we have a 10-year weekly chart pulled up on the charts. This is the only time we have. So take me off the screen. Guys, this goes back to 2021. So 26, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5.5 or 6 years worth of data, okay? So here's their we're gonna say 5-year low of $6.81, 5-year high of $153.86. Based on where the price action is right now, guys, it just was able to start creating a 200-week simple moving average in the middle of 2025. So let's get that out of the way first. So our 9-week simple moving average is at $100.02. Our 200-week simple moving average is at $46.44. Put me back on the screen. And now let's look and see if we have some historical price data. Guys, I'm liking this right here. Yeah, I'm liking that right here. So let's zoom in and let's get it. This wick on that red week. So that was the week of July 13th. We're going to use our price level tool. Let's get these boxes off the screen because they're not lined up anymore. Drag this over, expand this out, expand this out. So these 3 weeks right here, if we use the high on this in particular week, we can catch the wicks of those other candles. Now, when we look to the left, look at what we're getting. This candle wick came right down and used it as support. This candle opened near that price level. It's in the middle of the body of that candle. It caught the wick of this candle. It caught the wick of that one. Resistance, resistance, resistance. 3 weeks right here. It used that price level at $116.60 as resistance. That's why I like that one. Okay. Now looking over here. These look like a few weeks at a certain price level as well. These look real close to one another. So let me pull up the crosshairs and we can look at that together. So if we go here, we open up our price level tool. You see how the crosshairs, if we put that high right here, you catching those wicks and it's near the close of this week and it caught the wick of that one. I'll just put it there. Bam. And near the open of that one, it's not perfect, but it's close to it. Like it's really close to those. And that's around 124.35. And wouldn't you know it, if we move that up just a little bit higher, like if we use that week, we had two. Ooh, that looks nasty. Let me remove those. 5 would be the most recent one. So let's remove that. Remove drawing. Remove drawing. What did I just remove? Wait a minute. Remove drawing. We need to pick one. There we go. It's close to 125, guys. That's my point. So let's stop playing around with this. It's near a psychological price level 125. That's what I wanted to point out. The 124.55. That's what I'm seeing. And it was a few weeks that it seemed like it didn't want to get above that 125. Okay. So I'm liking those price levels on the higher time frame based on where the price closed this week. If we look for some support, I'm looking down here. I like that one, guys. I like that. I like that level right here on this wick, but I'm liking it as a zone as well. So let me see. So like this area right here, like if we expanded this, I'm liking that as a support zone. So let's expand this zone over to January 1st, 2027. And then that's 2025. So if we take this down, 2025, February 1st or January 1st. What was the zone on this one? Edit. We stopped that one at May 8th. You know how I'm about making it symmetrical, guys. That's all. May 8th. There we go. So I'm liking how it responded to this area right here for support and resistance. So those price levels, that's $84.32. Come on, come on, come on. $84.32. If I'm not mistaken, that's what I said. Edit. Yeah, $84.32. So let's fix that. $84.32. 32. So that's the bottom end of that support zone. The top end of that support zone is edit properties 8705. 8705. 87. I saw 8710. Let's just put that there. Edit properties 8705. That's not that one. Go here, edit properties, price level 8705. There we go. 05. Okay, we're good on this higher time frame, guys. That's what I'm getting on the higher time frame. I'm liking those. That's potential supports and resistance. Let's go back to our 1 year daily chart. So here we go, guys. Robinhood, and we're focusing on over here. Today's candle, this big green candle. Guys, they had a previous gap. Remember how we've been talking about previous gaps acting as support and resistance? I'm seeing 2 of them. I'm going to highlight both of them. You got one here between July 16th and July 17th, and you got another one here between July 1st and July 2nd. Now, based on where this price is, it looks like it responded to this gap right here. So let me extend this over. So we extend that over. You guessed it, January 1st, 2027. Turn this to the darker gray. See? That's where it found resistance at, that previous gap. Look at how that previous gap was holding that support for a few days as well, because these are daily candles we're looking at. It was holding that support. Now, once it closed below it, this is his first time coming back and testing it on this day here. Then it came down here from that price level we got on our higher time frame, right? That zone we extended, that's it right there with those price levels at $87.05 and $84.32. So it recently used that area as support. You see how these days are bunched up there as well? You got a few gaps over here. But like I said before, you want to look at where potential gaps could be, where highs, open, and lows on highs, open, lows, and closes are responding to those previous gaps. Don't just say, okay, this gap is going to do this. Look for evidence that it's already been responding to that gap, if it's possible. So we saw that it was already responding to that gap here. We don't really see enough candles responding to this gap right here. We just had these 2. But we had a few days here responding to that one, okay? So as far as what we have with the support and resistance, I'm liking what we have already with Robinhood. We got enough of our levels actually off the higher time frame, and we've done technicals on Robinhood before, so we didn't start off from scratch like with Marvell, I believe. So let's go ahead and get our 9-day simple moving average coming in at $96.78. Our 200-day simple moving average is coming in at $96.08. So guys, you have both of those simple moving averages crossing one another. You had the 9 crossing the 200 to the upside. People could have been looking at as bullish confirmation. They could have been looking at that as being bullish. Also, it's a few things right there. It was able to get above that area of resistance at $96.20. You got 3 things right there. You got the 9-day simple moving average, 200-day simple moving average, and $96.20 that was acting as potential resistance. And then on Wednesday, it was able to peak above those levels, but it wasn't able to close above it. It opened above it on Thursday, but then it closed back below everything. And then today is like, hey, I was lying, and it opened up higher than everything. It opened at where it opened at on Thursday. Ain't that a blip? So if somebody had stop losses in, they would have got knocked out the trading, and Robinhood turned around and rallied a day later, coming back to hitting that resistance at that previous gap that we talked about. And then if we even extend this over to the left by a month should be enough. So we take that out to I didn't mean to go back years, just a month. You see over here, it even responded to that previous gap. Even though the gap happened afterwards, we just pushing it back to see if we saw historical days or data respond to that same area of resistance. Yes. So that was on June 17th, 18th, and the 22nd that zone was respected as resistance and support. Okay. So let's go ahead and get our stock quote for Robinhood, guys. So cut on our floating data box. Take a lot of this stuff off the screen. We don't need all that. And let's drag this back over because there go that mouse acting crazy again. So here we go. There's today's candle. So Robinhood opened today at $101.10. They had a high of $109.71. They had a low of $98.77. They closed the day at $108.13. Guys, that was a trading range of $10.94. Now, when it came to the volume, they traded 50.4 million shares of this stock today. Is that a big deal? Is that a little deal? We are about to find out. I think it's a big deal. That's my vote, but we about to find out together. And the reason why I'm saying that, guys, is not just based off the number, but based off of what happened with the candles. Remember how I was saying if people had stop losses, the way it closed under this and just popped up back above it to open up here at that level, some people could have got caught in a short squeeze thinking that was bearish confirmation, but it actually ended up going bullish. Okay. But anyway, let's go ahead and get the facts. So right over here, the average trading volume for Webull in a daily trading session is 29.7 million shares in a daily trading session. Today, they traded 50.4 million. So that's definitely above average. If we rounded it off, that's about double. It's almost double of what they normally do. So that's this green candle right here. Now, Thursday's candle, guys, they came in below average. That was 25.1 million shares traded on Thursday. So that was below average, of course. Now, when we look at the volume percentile, that's going to be the moment of truth. That's going to tell us how many more candles out of that recent 252 trading days was today's candle higher than. Now, remember, today wasn't even in response to earnings. They don't have earnings until 52 trading days from now. And the last time they had earnings was on right here. Why is this showing a hand and not? Give me a second, guys. Trying to get this data right here. So they announced earnings on July 29th. That was the last time they announced earnings, and they don't have earnings coming up for a minute. It says 52 trading days from now, right up here. And let's align this back up. So there we go. It's aligned. It's aligned. So today's volume was higher than 92.5% of the most recent 252 trading days volumes. And to be exact, only 19 of those days had higher volume than today, guys. So I remember going over the simple moving averages and all of that. Okay, I think we're good, guys. So here's the thing. We done. We done. So we can get ready to wrap the show up, guys. So let's get the clicking. Let's get the clicking. So we go here, 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 and here. And shouts out to J Rock for popping in tonight, or at least he been here and he said something tonight, so he popped into the chat. Thank you for helping me out with Marvell, making sure I'm pronouncing that right, and just letting me know you was in the house, man. Always a pleasure to see you and have you here. So let's go ahead and wrap the show up. You already know. I hope that you learn something, and I hope that you earn something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. And my apologies for the technical difficulties for starting on time tonight. Guys, we rolling with it. If you don't see me on time, something's going on. So if I'm not here or I'm late, something major is going on. I'm going to be here. Just hold your horses or keep checking in, but I'll be there. All right. So this Sunday, August 23rd at 9 p.m. Eastern time, we're reviewing this week's biggest gainers and losers, market sentiment, market volatility, S&P 500 sector performance, and creating a watch list for upcoming earnings. And make sure you keep tuning in weekdays following the market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern time. Take care and God bless.